Hi, everybody. Welcome back, and here's the Walnut update. So, this week I noticed Walnut started to make a strange breathing sound, and that's when I knew something wasn't right. Walnut already has allergies, so occasionally he will make small noises when he's grooming deep into his fur. Because he is allergic to his own fur and certain foods like red lettuce, I'm used to paying close attention to his breathing. This sound was different though. The first time I noticed it was while he was eating. As you know, Walnut is very food motivated. So at first I wondered if he was simply making an excited noise, but then I heard it again. And then I heard it when he was grooming his chest area. And then the next day he sneezed, and the sneeze sounded pretty congested. And then the day after, he sneezed again. I called the vet. I will admit that when I heard those sounds, I went into panic mode. Several years ago, during the COVID period, I lost another beloved rabbit to a respiratory infection. That experience stayed with me. Respiratory illnesses in rabbits can develop quickly, and once you've gone through something like that, you become very sensitive to even the small changes in breathing or behavior. Because of that experience, I didn't wait to see if the symptoms would pass. I called the vet immediately. Losing that rabbit, Charlotte, also caused me to reflect on the veterinary care I had at the time. During the pandemic, the clinic I had previously used went through several staffing changes, and the veterinarians I had worked with were no longer there. After my rabbit passed, I made the decision to transfer to a different veterinarian practice, which is where we're at now. Finding a veterinarian team that is bunny savvy, I trust, and I feel comfortable with has made a tremendous difference. I know when they provide me information, I can trust it. One of the most valuable things bunny owners can have is a strong relationship with your rabbit savvy vet. When your vet team knows you, your rabbits, and understands the level of care you provide at home, it builds trust. That trust can make a real difference when something urgent happens. In Walnut's case, when I called and explained the symptoms I was hearing, the clinic understood that something unusual was happening and made sure he was seen quickly. That kind of relationship develops over time through regular checkups, communication, and a shared commitment to your animal's well-being. For rabbit owners, that partnership is especially important because rabbits are extremely good at hiding illnesses until something is already quite serious. I do understand it can be incredibly difficult to find a rabbit-savvy vet. In those circumstances, you do the best that you can. You gather your resources, you gather your information, and that's what you do. You provide the best care that you can with what you have. At the appointment, the vet confirmed that Walnut has Snuffles, which is the common name for a respiratory infection in rabbits. Snuffles is often associated with a bacterium called Pasteurella multocida. I know I'm saying it wrong. Multocida. Oh, goodness. Many rabbits are exposed to this bacteria early in life, often from their mothers or from other rabbits. In many cases, the bacteria remains dormant in the respiratory tract and never causes any illnesses. However, when a rabbit experiences stress or strain on the immune system, the bacteria can become active and lead to infection. This is why snuffles can sometimes appear suddenly, even in rabbits that have seemed perfectly healthy for years. Snuffles often follows a general pattern. Dormant bacteria exist quietly in the respiratory system. Stress, allergies, or environmental changes weaken the immune defenses. Systems begin, such as sneezing or the snuffling breathing sounds. Veterinary treatment and antibiotics are required to control the infection. In Walnut's case, several things may have contributed. This winter was particularly difficult here in Ontario. We experienced extremely cold temperatures followed by a sudden thaw. When snow melts quickly, it can expose snow mold and other environmental allergens that can affect animals just as they affect people. At the same time, we replaced the furnace in the house. That was unexpected, which changed the airflow and stirred up dust within the environment. Because Walnut already has a respiratory sensitivity due to his allergies, these environmental changes may have placed additional strain on his immune system. As you all know, Walnut is my beautiful Flemish giant, a large breed rabbit, and they are more prone to developing arthritis in their back end as they age. He is currently taking medication including gabapentin, meloxicam, which is Metcam, and glucosamine to help manage the arthritis and keep him comfortable. Arthritis can also make grooming more difficult for rabbits, which can sometimes contribute to stress on the body. Shortly before these symptoms began, Walnut needed a grooming session because he had some cecal cells attached to his tail that he sat on, and they had become stuck while I was working during the day. The groomer carefully used clippers to remove it, and although the process was handled as gently as possible, grooming procedures can still be stressful for rabbits. Even relatively small stress events can sometimes trigger dormant infections. And no, bathing him was not the option. That would have been disastrous. At the vet clinic, they confirmed that Walnut had snuffles, as we mentioned. Because he's already on several medications, we also ran full blood work to ensure his liver and kidneys were functioning properly. The good news was that all of his blood work came back completely normal, which gives us a helpful baseline for monitoring his health going forward. His temperature was normal and his heart rate was normal as well. So, yay! I also brought Maurice in to ensure he was healthy at the vet. Fortunately for him, he does not have snuffles, and that was a huge, big relief. Walnut is now on antibiotics for 2 weeks. He receives 2.5 mLs in the morning and in the evening. Walnut normally takes his medication mixed with his food, but this medication needs to be given orally in his mouth. That means I have to gently wrap him in what we call a bunny burrito, and he does not enjoy that at all. But the medication is strawberry flavored, and once he realizes what it is, then he happily takes it. The vets also told me what to watch for while he's recovering. I need to keep an eye on his breathing to make sure it doesn't become more labored. Watch for any discharge from his eyes or nose, and monitor his third eyelid to make sure it isn't starting to close over the eye area. We want to make sure that he's eating well and that his energy is good, keeping in mind some lethargy is expected with the antibiotics. The vets are very optimistic that we caught this early. So for now, he's going to finish his 2-week course of antibiotics, and then we'll have a follow-up appointment to make sure everything is cleared, because that's important. The reason it's called Snuffles is because the rabbit with this infection often makes a snuffling or snorting type breathing sound due to mucus in their nasal passages. Snuffles mainly affects the nose and respiratory passages, which is why rabbits make snuffling or congested breathing sounds. I'm so glad we got that in there at the end. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe. I'll continue to let you know where things stand with Walnut and Maurice. Thank you for caring. Talk to you soon. It means a lot.